is August 9th, 2025. Today I went down to Millersburg, okay? And I went to walk in, some guy answers the phone. He said, "What do you mean what I'm doing? I'm sitting on a front porch." No, there's no one else here. A lot of people gave up. They found out if you say anything about her, the police were to detain you and call the FBI. Nobody wanted arrested. We go in there and Carl and I are walking around and we're talking about everything. How when we were there in May, some apostolic bitch walks by and says, "Thank goodness we had a doctor tape her unaware. Thank goodness we had that doctor have her say that. And because we had that doctor do that to her, we can do whatever we want to her. We can even tell the police how we harmed her and just say we were making fun of her while we did it, and we can do whatever we want." Psycho. Some guy walked by and went, "Is that what's going on?" They were down here in front of people admitting they had some doctor do that to her. Those idiots. Yeah. That wasn't the only place. And like they were laughing, those were federal agents she was confessing to. These people actually been confessing to federal agents. Okay. The other day, some guy was talking around me. He said, "We all know there's a Russian involved. And he's been paying for a lot of this. Why are people helping out? We all know that." There's also an Iraqi, a Russian and Iraqi, where the other, on the 5th, I was down at Dutch Valley Restaurant. There was a lot of, oh my God, going on in there. Some guy said, "I haven't seen her in a long time. She actually looks healthier since the last time I seen her." We finally got them to admit that they were using hallucination drugs on her, and that's why she was sleepwalking when they drugged her and told her to say it before. We have them tape saying that. It took them, it's about time. Took them long enough. Where they admitted they drugged me and told me to say it before, they actually said what kind of drugs. Okay? Where they were laughing at me on the 4th, August 4th, that they were using hallucinogenic drugs. That's why I had a metal taste in my mouth. And that's why I don't remember anything. Because it causes sleepwalking. Alright? The mind controlling drugs they were laughing about. Alright. And some guy was in there and said, ICE agents told these so-called religious groups that were helping out to stay out of it. There's a lot of foreign nationals involved in this. Okay? And then a girl came in and said some drug lord said he'd date me if me and my friends help out harass her. And that Agent John is a coward. No one helped her when they tortured her. So he must be a coward. And then was talking about the hallucinogenic drugs they were using to make me sleepwalk when they drugged me and told me to say it before. Okay? And they're confessing. Mm-hmm. That's where they showed up. The investigator showed up at Walmart. We have them under surveillance calling Agent John a coward. And that they used hallucinogenic drugs on her to make her sleepwalk when they drugged her and told her to say it before. That's why she don't remember. Had another investigator show up. He said when people talk to her, they need to realize the only thing she knows, She never had anybody in her home. She never seen anybody. She never talked to anybody. And she knew nothing. And when people look at her and people talk to her, they need to realize the only thing she knows is she never had anybody in her home before. Never seen, never talked to anybody. That's all she knows. To me, these people look like fools. You know, where it's supposed to be some attorney's office and his doctor friends going around setting up button cameras, cyber stalking people, felony invasion of privacy. It's right on Google. The attorney would lose their license, they go to jail. Okay? And his doctor friend going around drugging people up with hallucination drugs and telling them to say stuff and framing them. And running drug scams and having them beat and raped under drugs. It's sick that they're running drug scams on people on their own and they're in it with the drug cartel. And I'll let you know that Iraqi and that Russian has made fools out of the U.S. citizens, that they would throw a little bit of money at them, promise them endless amount of money they'll never get. To help them get away with murdering U.S. citizens. Made a public fool of the FBI. How they could fool them, a Russian and Iraqi, and that they could scam the FBI. Like the Tuscarora sheriffs when I went down to get my CCW. Someone was on the phone. Anybody says anything about her, they show up. You are to detain them and to call the FBI and let an agent come down and take care of them. These people had publicly laughed that they fooled an FBI agent with this, and they want their participation. You are to detain them and call the FBI. Okay? And they were talking about the doctors from before were so dumb. They were throwing any diagnosis they could at her. They weren't smart enough to realize her muscles locked up from the surgeries. They were just making up any diagnosis in the world. They were so dumb. And it was a medication making her sick. Okay? And they're supposed to have a doctor that works for them that's not one of hers. And they're supposed to have stolen somebody else's medical records and put her name on it. Anybody shows up and says a word, they are to detain them and call the FBI. I had idiots in there for my lion ex-daughter-in-law, Melissa, saying, well, we thought they had it all set up. Melissa did everything. Melissa was taped by the police and the FBI, friends with Dave's girlfriend. They, and telling the kids to lie. The kids were taped saying they wanted the house for Dave and his girlfriend, and later on the floor they made everything up. They were games of pretend laughing. She didn't make it up till the case. Nobody went to the hospital. There's no police report. The police were already there taping. There's no pictures of injuries. Nothing. They're documenting mean jokes. And because she was going to try a bitch move in the middle of their case, they called her out and warned her that they taped her telling the kids to lie, and the kids stating they were lying. It's that bad. You don't get money for just making stuff up. Like the idiot in my old apartment said we didn't know they had to have proof. We thought they could just say it. No. You have to have proof. And they're documenting mean jokes. All the cops know they lied. They're documenting mean jokes. Like Officer Mark said, we'll write it up that her and the kids were showing off for Dave and his girlfriend. I'd hate to arrest her. Her kids are little. Well, it's been coming out she was part of hiring those people to drug, beat, and rape me. You need to arrest her. She wasn't just being a bitch and a show off. She was part of hiring the terrorists to harm me. She needs to be arrested then. They better be lying on her. I'm going to go ahead and upload this.